Also, we're gonna be playing a modern challenge with Amulet Titan, and I'm itching. I have not played Amulet since I think Saturday. That's crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4 days with no Amulet gameplay. If you look up there, Canister is in number 1, and hopefully once the challenge finishes, it's gonna be the same way. Except for I want 1 Gruul Turf and -1 Growth Chamber actually. Can I resubmit? Oh no, I put myself in 80th place now instead of the top 1. That's horrible. What have I done? Currently playing Mike Lee. It's a turn to kill if I top deck a Titan. It's a no turn kill currently with the cards in hand. Let's keep. For the lose, it's gonna piss my opponent off if they just die before doing anything. Also remember discard spells in Modern. People don't really do that nowadays, but you used to keep a hand and you didn't actually know if you're gonna get to keep your cards. You would keep a hand and the opponent would fotseize a single card, or sometimes they even grief and ephemerated 2 cards out of your hands. Just truly fucked up. Seems like Frog. But I don't think I'm playing the Lotus Field out just yet. Maybe with 2 redraws it's fine. Doesn't seem like it though. Hello, how was Pauper yesterday? I borrowed Tron. Mono black artifact combo Tron. It was a clunky deck. It felt like I was... Well, it didn't really feel like it. I was just flooding all the time. Because of the fact that my deck ran a whole bunch of lands and the draw 2 effects, and I just kept drawing them, and felt like my deck had way too many swamps, I would say. So I went 1-2. Played against 5 lands Spy, which is an Oops All Spells deck. It's kind of funny. Now we have to act. It's a 5 land deck that just attempts to kill you with a bullshit Spy. Oh, I need a land, but it needs to use Lay of the Land effects to fetch out all of the lands from the deck previously. They have 6ing, so you can kill them. And like I should try anyways. If they have a pitch spell, then I wouldn't be able to beat them. Wow, that's a supercharged Dark Ritual. It sure is, buddy. It's one of the more supercharged Dark Rituals that there are. Dimir House Guard loops before Love Giant. I don't even know how that's supposed to work. But they had Dimir House Guard. Which actually later on that night won a game against Yendrek's blue-red control deck. The Spy guy just played out a Spy and just won by attacking. No, Skura is from Warsaw, so he's not quite local, but I am aware of his incredible Pauper prowess. Hi Canister, in my LGS there are many people with Frog. I'm likely to bring Defense Grid Dismember Tracker. Is it okay to recommend any other cards? Don't play Defense Grid. It's horrible. Play more creatures. Play Cavern. Play Mystical Dispute if you can afford a fetch land and a Breeding Pool or Hedge Maze in your deck. But don't play Defense Grid. Defense Grid had a place and a purpose, but it no longer does. It was powerful against Cascade decks, but those are no longer a thing. Speaking of this card, have you not been seized by Frog Gamers? Actually, I have, yeah, that's true. But it's kinda rare, right? Like if they play Thoughtseize, they often will not play the full 4 or something like that. So it feels... it happens less often. At least I feel like... This deck is absurd, Master. Well, why is it absurd? Just because I'm winning a game? I think my opponent's deck is absurd. They have a 3-mana card that just wins the game and cannot be defeated. Now, who's the real combo deck in the matchup? Me, a poor guy who's struggling to assemble some combination of cards that can overcome an unbeatable threat? Or this fella over there with a 3-mana I win card and a deck full of counter spells to protect it? Between 6 and Tracker, which one do you think is more effective against Frog? It's 6. It's a better card. 6 has diminishing returns, it's legendary though, so if you draw too many, it's just bad, right? Extras don't really do anything. More reactive Titan against blue-black with Veil Dispute. Well, that's impossible to fit, and it's just kind of worse, because the issue with the Titan deck is that it's 30 lands, it floods. It's more likely that a threat is gonna win you the game where you flood than for a mystical dispute to win a game where you flood. Also for dispute you need to play blue lands to support it, which is possibly doable, but you just need to do that. They board out Bowmaster maybe. Often they will, but often they won't. It's like a card that you can look at and be like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to keep it in, so they will have it. So, which makes cards like Hexdrinker and Tracker kinda iffy, because they do match up poorly against Bowmaster. Once I had two Trackers on the battlefield, but my opponent had 2 Bowmasters, that was not a good time. So certainly something that needs to be kept in mind. But for the most part, it is kinda weak, right? So they kinda want to cut it, but also depends if they want to bring something, and I think a good argument could be made that Bowmaster can be, like, it's a similar level to a card to Consign to Memory. If you like deciding between those two, if you want to bring it or not. Why is Defense Grid bad? It's because it solves not... So by itself it doesn't do anything. you need to pair it with other cards. Like, it just protects your other cards. The frog deck is... so Defense Grid helps not solving Harbinger, and it helps not solving Psychic Frog or Merctag Regent attacking you whatsoever. Which are issues. Should I keep this? It's a bit bad. On top of that, Defense Grid doesn't actually even turn off counterspells. It is plausible for opponents to hold 3, 4, or 5 mana later in the game and still use a pitch spell, a consign, or a counterspell. Like, they do. That does happen because the frog games go long. When Greed was good, the decks we were playing it against weren't doing much early. So Greed was just good against... specifically... It was alright against Blue-White Control at the time back then as well, but it was specifically good against Cascade decks, which were built around playing a free drop and holding pitch spells, which Defense Grid actually counters that, right? Did I bring in this member? Of course, yes. Defense Grid matches up poorly against this hand, so yeah, I guess we can keep it. Defense Grid also matches up poorly against Thoughtseize if they run that, which is also a relatively common card. Defense Grid would be... So, like, back when Defense Grid was good, not only it was good against Cascade, but also there was the One Ring in the deck. An extra threat that just draws cards and, like, unmulligans and enjoys getting paired with stuff like that. Took Spelunking, interesting. Marang River region getting taken out for a test drive and decide about your RCQ this weekend. For sure it's gonna be incredible. It sounds like just the card. Are they going to consign the Saga? They can't consign 2 of my constructs, but maybe. Or at least no longer they can consign the constructs. Sure. I was hoping my opponent will take Scapeshift because it makes my decisions much easier this game, because having to consider if it's the time to go for Scapeshift or not would have been a pain. Get consigned, idiot. Blue-black Surveil. Bounce land. I have many draws that are much better than a bounce land right now. Regent. Shifting Ceratops. How is your Shifting Ceratops body doing? I bet that your body's frog opponents are shifting their pawns when it's getting put on the stack. Get it? Shift your pawns. He wins when he casts it. Awesome. Another regent. Oh yeah, Pierre Dole. Well, sometimes your Saga constructs are not enough to hold off the villain. There has to be an uncounterable good creature. What do you think? There has to be one. Could it simply not exist? Oh yeah, dobra. That kills me now. The Merktide region is also a reason as to why I play 2 Otawaras. Showed Force of Negation. Could Vexing Bauble them. Is Spellbomb bad? Objectively, yes. But I've played it in the past. I don't remember using it much. It's fine alongside 6 as well. So I wouldn't hate it. Oh, yeah, the Hexdrinker. Would I pitch to their Force of Vigor negation? Consider. Would they play Fort Scour there? 1 Bog? Not really, because Bog does become actively bad at the point that they will deploy the Merktide and you cast Fort Scour EOT and then you untap and then you play your Regent. Ale gówno, no, kurwa. I need better hands against Frog. Chat. Can't afford to draw badly like this. Bojuka is not good in this matchup, as I just said. I think I might need to put back Arboreal Grazer. But I think I'll actually put back Vesuva. Thank you for the raid, Barchek. Welcome, Barchek viewers. Time for some hacking Amulet Titaning. How was your drag on experience? Did you drag on? You could top deck Sex and then just play Sex turn 2 and win with Sex. That would be a good strategy. That's good. Hello, come on. Thank you. O kurwa, to jest Ochulus deck. That changes everything. I wish I borrowed Bojuka Bog now. Kurwa laker w ogóle. Sounds good. This... Dobra, może być. Is Tolaria West still the best target when you play Pitching Needle against Titan? Well, depends. What do you want? Ooh, I was about to say I want to draw Bounce Land. Like, what do you want to achieve? Because realistically, the most often when I get... Dawaj, nie ma suba. No sub, no sub. Realistically, I think the best target is... Boseiju. When you're playing a deck that cares about Boseiju. Ooh, no consign. Oh, that's awesome. I think we win now. Should I get T-West or Otawara? Probably T-West. They Harbinger me? They somehow kill my Titan, right? With 2 mana removal spell, I need to. What do I think about Thrun in the sideboard? Mostly I don't. And I wish to never actually think about Thrun. Actually, I can't even use the T-West. Well, that sucks a bit. Maybe I'll lose. Thrun is like trying to beat a round hole with a square peg. Just using an ill-advised tool. Get back Simic. Well, I would get back a Gruul Turf if I were to bounce back a bounce land. But if my opponent Harbingers, then I can use T-West still. Which I think is a real danger this game. That I get Harbinger and then they go Merktide. That could be an issue, so I want to avoid. I think that's the most realistic way for them to come back. If my Titan gets a second attack, that's fine. If my Titan dies now, I will need to top deck a blue source. Or a Titan. If my opponent plays a Psychic Frog, they can't win, so it's fine. Probably should have bounced a bounce land and not the forest back to my hand earlier this game. That way I would have a bounce land in my hand still. Nah, because that wouldn't still do that thing I wanted. So we had no outs. Miley Cyrus and the Chorus. Zaraz ci powiem. Alright, we beat Frog. Actually a good matchup. But I can win on turn early. I don't know if this is a keep actually, but it probably is. I'm also 6, I'll keep. Like I might even not play the Saga on turn 1. Just go turn 3 Spelunking, turn 4 win. Against a Multi 6 from energy. I think that works a good amount of time. And of course my first roster is gonna be a Grazer or an Amulet, and then it's gonna be all good. Jak leci? Wykurwiście. Wyczepiście. Wow. Just pass. If we can avoid playing out the Saga to reduce the impact of a Throbbing Charm, which honestly, like, people probably shouldn't be playing Throbbing Charm anymore, or like they don't. Maybe not. I would think that Throbbing Charm was mostly an anti-breach countermeasure, but maybe people just think it's a good card overall. But I've seen people play Throbbing Charm still. They kept on top, so I guess now we are guaranteed. Like now it's a guarantee that the opponent is going to Blood Moon me on turn 3. Which is rough. Because we don't beat that, but I mean, too bad. Bombardment. Alright, I can play Saga, Explore. That's awesome. So now we win next turn if my opponent doesn't do anything. If I play the Vestige because I need to go Spelunking, Cramber. Like I'm weaker to Frabencharm than I would have been if I played Grove Charm and picked up the Saga, but whatever. I need to play the Saga so I can go Spelunking this for mana Scapeshift. Hi Kani, hello Yellow Cheetos. Those two in my hand, is that a problem? I have 4 lands, 2 Titans in hand, so it's not a problem. It is a problem. Well, a bit. I mean, I can just summon Titans. No. What do I play a Lotus Field? With my second Spelunking now, then I Scapeshift with 3 lands and no mana floating. So that's no good. I think I have to just settle for summoning a Titan. And then the second one. Escape and go in? Well, I'm going in, I'm just wondering what I'm gonna do with my Scapeshift before I click the card, my friend. Because there is a slight issue. Lotus Field is in my hand, which means that the 4 lands regular Scapeshift doesn't quite work. Still a win. Alright, tell me what to do, chat. Tell me what do you search with this Scapeshift, if it's still a win. What do I sacrifice? Alright, let's say I just sacrifice all 4 because there's no way I don't sacrifice all 4. Alright, what now? I can produce only for less mana than I would have needed to. Which means I will simply put 2 Titans into play this turn and just be settled with that. I think I cannot do better than that. Shift, get US bounce field woodland. Okay. Sorry, I already went my line, but continue. That produces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Woodland is dead. Yeah, well, there's also no point in searching for it, yet I was giving the chatter just an opportunity to show off their amulet skills. Streamer bullying chatter. Oh no, I'm no way I'm bullying. I'm just, you know, teaching experience. I thought you could double haste there. Well, I didn't think I could double haste there, so I didn't. I only have Spelunking. I am pretty short on mana. 90% sure there is still a line. Alright. Well, I was just as sure, if not more, that I couldn't do that, so we'll pass and be in an unlosable scenario anyways. To fetch for Lotus Field and second Titan was haste at land and copy land. Lotus Field and second Titan was haste land and copy land. Titan I searched for 2 vestiges, so I would go with Lotus Field and Vestige, sacrifice Lotus Field, sacrifice Vestige and Grove Chamber. What do I... So I don't see how I double haste in that scenario either. Ay, ay, ay. This song slaps. I'm glad you enjoy it. Your move. Scared Foundry. Oh no. Flash. Dobra. Grazer down. Oof. Good thing we got rid of this Ocelot Pride because it was starting to get pretty shaky. I have one more card we have to keep in the deck. I think we're choosing from between those four. Discuss chat. Which out of those four cards should be in my post-board deck in the slot number 60? I think I have just a method to choose. Card number 3 seems like Otawara. Alright. Thrune Breaker of Silence. Was Thrune amongst the four cards I have showed you? Think again. If it really was. What is the lowest life you took an opponent? Like, what was the hardest Mr. Beat hit I have dealt? More? I think the hand is fine. Pretty hard to say, but probably just a few hundred. It's pretty hard to do more than that with Amulet. You miss Field of the Dead. How many Field of the Dead would the Amulet deck play in the year 2020? One sideboard? Or one main deck? Worst matchup for Amulet? Question mark. Are you asking if Boros is the worst matchup, or are you asking me what is the worst matchup in general? Because if the latter, then it's probably Belcher or Storm. I think Belcher and Storm are worse than Mill. Should I have... Just think. Need blue. I think I should play the Otawara, Tolaria West. Is Mill that bad now that we use the graveyard? They do have extractions and all of that, which kinda wrecks you. But it is better, yeah. If I play out the TOS, I can win next turn by drawing a Grazer. Play Vesuva as Crumbling Vestige, Grazer in the Gruul Turf. Or I can win with Explorer Spelunking. Or I can get mooned and die. But they didn't fetch. Oh no, Molten Rain my TOS. Oh no. That's a bummer. That was a downside of putting this on the battlefield. Here we go. I think just play the Mirrorpool. No Surva land to copy, it's annoying. Maybe I should just play Vesuva as a forest. Was also an option. Not sure here. If I do Scapeshift, I will be fine. Well, I will not because TOS is in my graveyard. It's a big issue. Scapeshift is no longer an out. Are male players skilled magic players? Well, I don't think it really gives you any knowledge on how skilled your opponent is. Maybe a little bit, I guess, like the players who do actually play mill are the ones that tend to dissociate from the results actually because or something like that, but it's pretty hard to actually know that. No i dupa, no co mam tu zrobić? Skopię Scared Foundry. Maybe I should Boseiju the bombardment sorcery speed and then just surveil. But they have Ragavan attacking me. So there is kind of no point in surveiling. Dobra, miarka się przybrała, wypierdalaj z tym bombardmentem. Oh lol, he's like, don't make me say something mean. No, I mean, I actually don't think that the deck choice gives you much information about the player, right? That's kind of just... it doesn't. Opponent is guiding some souls. Now even a sweeper is not good. What's the single best card versus Titan? Harbinger of Disease. Blood Moon, Magus of the Moon, and Ashiok. Dream Render. Honestly, Ashiok might be better than Harbinger. BBH. Explore. Well... right, how about we do this? Even if I die next turn, we're going to use Mirrorpool for actual value. As long as I actually manage to hold priority. Okay, I managed. Managed to probably like this. 2 explores? Yeah, he's good. I should have added blue for that possibility. So that's what I didn't think about. I should have added blue if I ended up with Otawara. Bounce Spelunking. We have 2 land drops place remaining, so I'm fine. I think I'm fine with the amount of mana. 50% chance that Otawara would have been a GSZ for the win. Holy guacamole, that's true. Let's just make more mana. Maybe it matters for Mr. Beast to have more lands in hand. Dobra, let's go. This time, that's the last one, chat. Unless it is not the last one, actually. How many times have you done the copy and stand? Might have been the first, really. Maybe I used it before on something. I think I used it on a Scapeshift in a spot where I didn't need to, just for the lose. So like, I don't think that counts. This was the first time it actually counted. Oh, the fireball combo thing? Yeah, but that also doesn't really count. I don't think so. If we are calling deeps to copy Tolaria West, we're good. It only counts if you win, sure. We can use Urza's Cave to thin out the deck, that's probably correct to do. I have enough mana to thin out the deck twice. Might do. Awesome Scapeshift, by the way. I kept Vesuva in my hand, that's bad. I should have kept a bounce on my hand, and I would have actually been able to search for a... Well, I guess I still am, right? So I go for deeps and then for growth chamber? I think that's good. Can still make a land drop, so... Nine minutes on the clock, have to speed up, by the way. Oh, yeah, let's fucking go. This time for sure. Ah, all of that for nothing. Could I have surveilled with the Vesuva? No, because then I wouldn't have a land to put into play from Spelunking. That was close and pretty fun to do, but unfortunately couldn't materialize the Titan. Which, had I been able to surveil once, I would have been able to do that. Tantalizing. Truly tantalizing. Maybe I was able to sneak in a surveil. No, I don't think so. I would be short on mana. Well, I guess I can play it as a play it as a chamber. No, because I have to have a land in my hand to put from Spelunking. I think I wasn't able to. Maybe there was some small optimization I could have done earlier. Alright, second Otawara, you are fired. GSZ, you are in. Why? That's because I have failed to draw on I read this game. I don't think so. Much better. I don't have red mana, I'll just put back the Vengeance. Could put back Mirrorpool. Let's put back Mirrorpool. Can get red mana somewhat easily. Yeah. It's kind of close in those spots. Like I never actually know which is a better decision. I just have no idea, but maybe cycle explore because I just need 4 mana. I don't think I want to cycle explore after thinking a bit more because I want to. I can cycle it next turn as well. If it comes to that, there's no point. Vesuva is red mana if needed. Would love to draw a Crumbling Vestige because that would just be a victory. Flagstones of Trokir or Kurka. They're boombasting. Titan's so good on model but so bad in paper. Why? They were boombasting for 2 straight games and we had no idea. Is there a point in cycling? Is there a point in not cycling? Blood Moon is a reason to cycle. It's a bit awkward not to play the Vestige and all of that, but... Molten Rain... We're there. Vampire's Vengeance looking good. No vengeance will be taken upon my opponent this game. Or rather, there's no vengeance so far. Hope they finally play their free 1-drops. Delusional frog gamers in paper are more common. Da Vinci, they're not delusional because they play deck they like, they just... No nie, no weź spierdalaj, no. Jak mnie czarmołem biją, to tego nienawidzę, bo to jest takie gówno. No nie jest za dobre. Pretty good when you pair it with 10,000 other land destruction spells at times, but just, I don't know, the cost reduction ability just always punishes you in such a stupid way. But those types of hands do match up well against my sideboard sweepers, and I happen to draw 3 of them, so might be a bit rough, chatters. Static Priest on, okay. No nie, bombardment. Ojej. Still have a shot. Pretty solid one, I think. 2 bombardments, that's too much, man. I deal 2 damage to your Obsidian Charmo. Have I tried Narset yet in Ascendancy? I will never try Narset because it's clearly an unplayable card. This blood token might be crucial, chat. Might be just what we need. Alright, don't play an Ajani. Molten Rain. Bro. Alright, don't play literally any spell next turn, and we're good. We're good then. Then I win. Can I draw anything with Vampire's Vengeance? Getting discarded now? Maybe? Grazer. Sure. Might be useful next turn. So I'm getting an Amulet from the Static Prison. If their hand is 2 lands, I take 4, go to 1 if they ping me, and I win. They draw literally any creature, I die. If they draw an interaction spell, I die. If they play Ajani Nakadal Parhati, then they deal 10,000 damage to me. So this was actually extremely close. Yeah, if I wish. Third bombardment. Boom Blast, huh? Because I would draw Pact. But if I don't draw a Pact, if I, let's just say I draw a Forest. Well, if I draw a Forest, that's fine. Let's say I draw another Grazer. I would just Scapeshift the play Vestige. Go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Scapeshift for 2 remaining Vestiges and a bounce land. Grazer the Vestige again. Which puts me at... how much exactly? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... at 8 mana, right? And then I Scapeshift with 3 lands for Lotus Field, T-West, bounce land, and I do the thing. Puzzle, and now we get to play what MTG bot tells me is a mirror match, yet I have not brought any Force of Vigors with myself. Do we trust the bot? I had to make space for Hexdrinker. So Force of Vigor went away. Let's trust the bot. It's not great. Turn 1, nothing. Turn 2, Amulet. Turn 3. Turn 3. Kind of wasting being on the play. If I keep this. No, that's what I'm... That sounds good. Woodbug Analyst. Is it unethical or against the rules to play with a clear deck box and an incorrect token facing outward for your opponents to see? Is it unethical, bros, to do that? So there's no point in playing Spelunking right now because it actually is more mana to play it next turn. This is kind of wild that the Yu-Gi-Oh person from the story actually got disqualified for that. I guess, what was the reasoning? That it's unsportsmanlike? Boseiju? Niedobrze. Alright, we have a plan. The Yu-Gi-Oh player was probably a dick in other ways. Well, that's what you think, so it's not really a part of the story, we don't know that. It's pretty hard, you know. That would make sense. That's something that you thought up of. It's a good draw. Mr. Titan, what are you looking for? What are you searching for? So I don't think I can quite loop here with Analyst. Does villain have a Vestige? Yeah, they do have a Vestige. I think the best I can do is one Boseiju or one Otawara. Should be a Boseiju aimed at Amulet of Vigor. If I Otawara the Saga instead, I think that's a bit worse for me. If I get two Lotus Field, that does rely on Summoner's Pact milling something, on Analyst milling something good. Because I just have nothing, and I just let them win with Scapeshift. One could still go Spelunking, Crumbling Vestige to get me. But I don't think I have many more options to prevent them from doing stuff. Hey, I get bounced on Boseiju, it's the basic play. I will make it unless I can think of something better, but I can't. Can you hold Boseiju for if they Scapeshift? You can target the T-West. I guess well, give them extra mana. Is Otawaring the Saga any better? As we just discussed, it is not. Well, so we know my opponent has a Vestige, so I probably should just, yeah, it's just best to kill the Amulet instantly. They'll need to use Spelunking. Well, they'll need to have Spelunking plus Scapeshift in hand to beat that. Which they very well might, but they cast Explore and not Spelunking last turn, which points towards that not being the case. And they, like, even if they drew Spelunking of the Explore, you'd be incentivized to still play it out. Unless they are short on green for Scapeshift. But even then, like, just a Boseiju, yeah, that seems the best. Somehow I did not draw a single useful land, and now I'm suffering for that. Your move. Oh, explore, that's fine. Although still land, Spelunking, Vestige works. Or Vestige Bounce Land works, so... Clenching my buttocks for them not to get there. Canister wins. I like seeing that screen. Now in the mirror I'll cut Cavern of Souls and I'll add Otawara. Since I have no Force of Vigor, maybe I'm supposed to bring in Vexing Bauble. Helps against Force of Vigor and opposing Scapeshifts occasionally, make taxes them. Also works on mine, but I can cycle it if I need to, and I'm on a draw, so I kinda need help. Bojuka Bog doesn't really matter. It's got a Grazer. Grazer. Well, maybe Explore is worse than a Grazer, but I think when you're facing Fossil Vigor, that's not really the case. Interesting hand. I get to Boseiju, and then I have Urza Saga. Well, Boseiju on the draw, kinda required. Needing the third forest for Boseiju is pretty rare. Well, the draw is no slouch. Wait, 2 Sagas? The only play I can make right now is to Boseiju the Saga. 1-2. Oh, I float. No, nice floating game, opponent. No Boseiju on my Saga, that's nice. Another Amulet. Gruul Turf. Explore. I see. I cast Primeval Titan. I accept your play. So now, on the play, I will submit. We can do better. Or can we? This seems worth mulliganing down to 4. I think this doesn't win. A 4-card hand is gonna have a hard time as well, but not a govno. Well, let's go to 3. 3 I keep. So maybe keep 2 Sagas in a Pact. Sounds like that could get me somewhere. If I draw a bounce land and a regular land in my 2 draw steps, then it's a 10-4 win. Which is, you know, it is what it is. It's much easier to mulligan too when you also have Force of Vigor to mulligan too and keep 6-card hands on the back off, so it's really a big deal in the mirror. Alright, Mr. Construct, you're gonna get there. I'm only human. Seems like they're gonna either Scapeshift or Otawara, I think. Scapeshift. RIP. You got me, bro. I trust you. Sure, why not? And seems like a keep, albeit a bit of a bad one, but if I draw a bounce land early, it's good. This is the slow Urza player. I don't know. It says that 4 days ago they played Bros Energy, so Mega Uro and Mega Ragavan are still yet to be printed. True. Florest Retro. Has to be energy. Good JRPG like coming out soon. Expedition 33. I like how our conversation went. Hey Canister, do you like RPGs? No, I actually hate them. They're giga boring. Alright, there's a cool new one releasing in whatever next month. Oh, you got an ad. I know just a way to do that. Did I not play Baldur's Gate 3? I did play it and I did enjoy it. Not a JRPG, all caps. Whoa. You have Ungerd Dreadibice. I would also think so. I would also not think that it's a JRPG, but maybe technically it qualifies. Let's try Bounce Land. Please, one time. Bounce Lando. Kurka, Rurka. I think it's better to keep it in my hand. I don't like JRPG, but I did play the FF7 remake games recently. I was pogging. Good for you. Should I unkeep use Summoner's Pact? I don't think so. The FF7 remake, like, it's a pretty big remake. I played 20 seconds of it, but I stopped instantly. But and to my understanding, they just changed it from being a turn-based game to being a real-time action game. The combat, right? How do they get so many creatures so fast? They played a 1-drop, then 2 1-drops. No, actually they played nothing on turn 1, and they played 2 1-drops. Why didn't they play anything on turn 1? Was Alvi about they drew Forest, which is actually insanely good, isn't it? I think I win now. What about Kingdom Come Deliverance? I probably wouldn't be much interested in that game, but maybe. Forest was a good draw. Unfortunately, I don't have a Spelunking in play, and they have a lot of life points, so I need to combo for a long time. Which is annoying, but... I can't go to Yemen. I'm an analyst. Get on the plane. Okay. This creepy horror anime is so bad. That's a good request. Now if I melee Spelunking, we can summon it with my second Shifting Woodland, which is convenient. What do we kill from here? Well, I just make infinite Titans, infinite mana, infinite Otawaras, infinite Boseijus, infinite creatures, infinite jaw, infinite life gain. Well, not necessarily life gain, but we will find a way. How do we lose from here is a good question as well. Why are the only one playing Urza's Cave? It seems so good. I don't know. I think it actually opens up a lot, and I find it useful often. I think it is useful pretty often. And I think it's just fine to draw. That's why I'm playing it, honestly. While also opening up some Scapeshift lines or similar. Oh, yeah. Well, Mr. Beast is not even gonna be for pleasure. It is the fastest way to kill from this spot by a huge margin, so Mr. Beast is actually for time saving. Hopefully he's gonna find me a Spelunking to speed it up, but making 3 or 4 Mr. Beast copies is gonna be necessary to kill my opponent at 44 life. So it is not purely for my pleasure, it is for MTGO clock, honestly. Which is kind of ridiculous that Mr. Beast is now being used for saving MTGO clock, right? But how the tables have turned was the main drain so often, right? Giant is also pretty good at clock. Yes, it is. But I find it bad to draw and I can play with Mr. Beast instead. I think Mr. Beast works just as well in that regard for the most part. Draw Spelunking, that's good. Just Boseiju to keep, yeah. But unfortunately, those spots against energy where you combo off after your opponent just played 10,000 Ocelot Prides and it's at 44 live on turn 3. It's just kind of crazy, right? It's 44 live, this is turn 3. But you might say, yeah, but it is crazy that you're just winning on turn 3. And I say, yeah, well, that's fine. Just think about the 44 live they have, though. That's just too much, man. Seems really bizarre to ban me for less than one turn. That is bizarre, yeah. Bizarre. Are we really there for 10 minutes already? Time flies when you're having fun. Timeout rate doing this? Almost zero. I need to do that in a post-sport game as well, but it's just unlikely to happen twice. It's very low. I think a third Mr. Beast is gonna be good enough. So lucky to rip Titan, honestly, that's true. Vesuva, copy Secret Foundry. Echoing Deeps, copy this. Everything enters untapped. The cumulative amount of time wasted by people hoping to time out Titan players is insane. That is so true. That's my Mirrorpool here. Alright. WTF, free Boseijus. This is 45 plus 12. Seems good enough. Common controlling free Boseijus moment, yeah. It do be like that. I block with a cut token on Mr. Beast and on your other Mr. Beast, and I triple block the last one so that you have to click one more time. Actually, I don't. They changed the rules specifically to avoid that. Oh, then I take my 69 damage and die. Davinci, thank you very much for a prime sub. 45 months of Giga supporting my channel. Very based. One didn't shower. Well, they're getting showered by Mr. Beast damage. Wow, they didn't block. Alright, sounds like a good spot to restart. Maybe you'll mess up and overassign all the trample damage and they take 0. Maybe. Spikeling? It's playing Narset Ascendancy? Well, Spikeling would be a Spiked Watcher. So is the actual Spike playing the Ascendancy? Well, I'm playing a Modern Challenge. Only serious decks are allowed in there. Davinci. Since like you could watch that deck on a different channel, right? You could just go there if it's a deal breaker for you. Starting at 3-0. Holy shit. I don't want to. Yeah, I feel you. Disciples 2, really? What a game. It's based. I replayed all the campaigns a few months ago. Because I played it a lot as a kid. And I really enjoy it. I mean, it's kind of like goofy and overly serious and dark in the themes, but it's just so good. And it's also like, you know, not a hard game. You can kind of cheese the AI in a million ways, but I still enjoyed myself revisiting the game. We're gonna go with GSZ this time. Round 6, Game 3, Standard Showcase Qualifier. I think I need to message the MTG master to restart that. Otherwise it's gonna be there forever. I'll do that after the game if you remind me. The Standard Showcase Qualifier broke. MTGO got DDoSed, or it just plainly broke off in some way. I don't know what happened exactly in the middle of that. We actually played the remaining parts of this tournament via direct challenge, which was pretty funny. Maybe you'll mess up and over-assign all the trample damage and they take 0 in the last game. Yeah, fair. Oh, Ragavan, I have just the perfect answer for you. Well, I also don't have much else, so I hope my opponent doesn't have a follow-up to the Ragavan. Maybe I can draw a Sweeper or a Scapeshift. That would be nice. Cavern of Souls. Elegantic. Mick, elegancia, Francia. Bro, really? Scapeshift. I could be tricky about it. Because I don't need the extra mana, right? I can just play Amulet, Scapeshift in a single turn. Beat Static Prison, or most likely just makes my opponent not... Well, it's worse versus Molten Rain, so it is not clear I should do that, but... Also, I just played into Charmo, which they're playing... Oh, okay. That's not a Charmo. Seems like we won. Zulul. Heads up, Narset is only 5 cents, chat. Narset is only 5 cents because she's only worth 5 cents. What is funny is that Narset used to hate on people drawing cards, and now, like, creatures control have prowess. Why would I be interested in playing that? For 4 mana? That's just so weak. Exile non-creature non-land card with mana value less than Narset's power? Come on. So bad. It's not even worth thinking about, let alone talk about. Alors on danse. Oh no, they have Force of... Force of what exactly? They could have the White Flare. Can I beat the White Flare? I guess I can with the, like, infinite Boseijus and Otawaras. Can I beat Force of Despair here? Yes, yes. Force of Despair is fine. Spend a lot of life thinking about how to beat Force of Despair, but never with Amulet. Well, with Neoform, that's pretty easy, right? You just draw a Pact and Pact it. Or you just wanted something better. Be better than that. Even if I mill my Pact, I'm fine because I have an Urza Scave in my graveyard. Although I would prefer not to mill my Pact. Managed not to. Alors, Rondon. Just narrow them with Boseiju and Otawara, yeah, exactly. Which is not a thing that you can do on Magic Online. Oh, not really racing against the clock. I have plenty of time. I guess I'm racing, but it's like a slow race, right? GSZ, yes, it's good in Titan. Holy shit, I lied to people. Just so they would leave me alone and stop asking. Vote for a 60 EA? Is that Euro? EA? Well, GSZ, I also bought them. And it's just so bad. For the most part, except for when it's good occasionally. But that's rare. But I think the American price for it was also just crazy. Ah, GSZ, GSZ, you know the GSZ, I like GSZ with Arbor and without Arbor. No, I don't, that is not an appropriate translation of the cheese pan Hachamama thing. I won't be ignored. I can explain. Honestly, GSZ, it's just so crazy. Like, you pay one more mana, and then your card is no longer good. It's just crazy how vicious the game of Magic the Gathering is to cards that cost more mana than literally the tiniest smidgen possible that you can make a card cost. The game is so brutal for everybody. For everyone trying to perform actions outside of just being 0 mana stuff. Seems like they had no flair. No more lands. Arena of Glory. Wow. Minus 39. See, my timeout rate is 0. Like, I had 4 more minutes to actually play a game with my opponent, so Well, maybe if it came to game 3 in this match, it would be rough, but oh no, I still have a match to play. We're a 3-1. That is fine, honestly. The gong. Crazy. I was thinking if it's maybe better to play Coin Deeps this turn, but I don't really know if it can be relevant in any way. Seems like opponent can go to Yemen. 2 mirrors and 2 energy. Modern is thriving. What do you mean? Like, do you mean that it's clearly not thriving given those matches? I don't know. But your Shikos. Well, might all be a giant bait, so don't count your horses just yet. 3 euro mythic, you will take it, fair. Here I think I just summon a Titan attack and Boseiju the Amulet. I don't think there's anything better to do. The big Jeskai spell might be good for Pioneer Gearhulk creativity. I think there is no way, given that you... It's basically the same as Magma Opus, really, the effects of that spell. But Magma Opus discards itself, so there's no way you play it over that. So you only play it if you need more of that, which is a tough sell. So not so sure about that, but... Smolasty duże oczy sounds like a nice song. Something tells me it's actually not about oczy. In Polish there is a thing where you would say that a woman has very nice eyes, but you actually meant her breasts. Which, coming to think of it, I think is also a thing in English. So maybe it is not Polish related at all. Which my guess is that that song is gonna be about that, but maybe I'm just wrong and it's just gonna be about eyes widening from the use of narcotics. Or anything, something else entirely. Yes, Senatricious, that's why I'm giving you the commentary. So you can immerse yourself in the language a bit better. Well, both forests in hand, kinda wild. And the hand is pretty weak, but can also just turn free win. What is for dinner today? I have refrozen old chili con carne I had in my freezer. Tastes just as good as it did the first time. Which is decent. Good. Multo 5, Shifting Woodland, huh? I think I should put a Saga into play, maybe I shouldn't, honestly. Might as well cycle it next turn. Well, what next turn if my opponent goes? Vestige Bounceland. And Scapeshift kills me. Well, seems like that's gonna happen. Scapeshift for 2 Lotus Fields and then Titan. It is possible that that's not gonna be the end of the world because I have 2 Spelunking. Can kill both. Reap. In standard, what's my prowess plan versus the one white Wrath? So I assume temporary lockdown. 3 drops are one way, but I don't think 3 drops are too good in your deck to in general. Is my opponent producing mana right now? They're not, right? No, they make 1 mana each iteration, right? 6, 7, 8. No. Make 8 mana for 8 mana. Yeah, not making mana right now. Scoops? I guess infinite mana with no payoff and then nothing happens. Makes sense. Unholy Heat has been alchemized and immediately Alt F4 the game and uninstalled it. That's a crazy story. And a huge loss for Mr. Wizard. Lush Portico a Street Rave. Maybe it's a bad idea, but it's always tempting. But now they only have Sorcerer Speed. Ways. Maybe they have some Endurance manning, that would be really rough then. Press the enemy, yeah, sure. Press them all you want, like, sure, whatever. Maybe I should play the Saga right now. I have the Mycosynth Gardens. You are number 5 in the leaderboard. Yes, after all, I top-8 both of the Mox qualifiers. I should have played a Saga. What am I doing? This is not a top 5 on the leaderboard type play. This is the bottom 5 on the leaderboard type play. My opponent force of negations this. But yeah, if I top 8 and open, I think I have a good shot at becoming the Mox competitor once again. Unfortunately, 10-round sealed events are just impossible to do well at, so I think there's like 400 people to 600 people trying to do the same thing as you. Of course, you will not succeed. So I congratulate all of the people who actually are going to the Mox. If I get second and hope and I'm tied for second with both tiebreakers equal, so it comes down to QP collected if nobody jumps that, obviously. I hope that's gonna be the case. I don't know if that tiebreaker has ever came, like I don't know if it ever came down to this tiebreaker mattering so far, but it is such a funny tiebreaker. I do hope it's gonna be the case. And what happens if you both had the same amount of QPs, right? There's just no solution then. There's no system in place to fix that. Alright, opponent, I sure hope you don't have another endurance. So discarding the Titan was actually good because it made them spend an endurance. So no endurance, no force of negation, and I win. O ty skurwysynu. 10 i pierdyliard. No dobra, wygrałeś. Notably, they discarded a standard all-star card, Ephara's Dispersal. Why no Cavern name sorcery here? This is a moment where I'm giga punished for not running Mistrise Village, actually. Alright, so we have a Battle Downs, a Vexing Bauble. That's kinda it. Cavern of Souls is actually pretty blank against Living End, to my understanding. Maybe they play some random flares. They occasionally do, but I don't think so. I know Soduva was playing a flare at some point in his Living End list. Roots. Bojuka Bog might be good. How about Battle Downs? Maybe I want to bring in 6 mills cards over. It looks really stupid to play 6 and my opponent Living Ends though. 6. They're going to Harbinger. No nie, kurwa. Is that true? They actually Harbinging in Living End? I think I've seen lists that did that. I don't think if they do Harbing, I think I'm... No, this list has no Living End. This list has no Harbinger. There is a chance they just won't. No, this list has no Harbinger either. Guess the same guy. Oh, Funkeeper Familiar. Weekend Honor dead. I don't even know what that card does, but it's so goofy. Yellow Hat. No. Ashiok. O kurwa. Ashiok. Ashiok. Chat, Amulet is in a terrible metagame position right now because I'm playing against a deck that might be an Ashiok deck. It's just way too much. They have Ephara's Dispersals, they have all of that. Bin Titan. Yeah, I just did that game 1 and I got hoisted by a main deck Endurance. There's just nothing you can do. They simply pitch a generous end and they don't care. Alright, we have Vexing Bauble coming soon. For sure they will not play the stupid ass idiot monster that destroys an artifact or enchantment when you evoke it. Seems like they actually won't. That's nice. Do I double sleeve my paper amulet deck? I do not know. I prefer not to double sleeve my decks because then they are too thick. I prefer them a bit less thick. Construct versus Explore. I think Explore. Don't sleeve them at all. Much easier to shuffle. Fair. Well, actually, that is not the case, yeah. They're much harder to shuffle with no sleeves. I do have a few foils in my deck, and the foils just get damaged if you single sleeve them and shuffle them pretty significantly, which I don't like. Any new cards for Titan? Never. Titan is a complete deck. Has no new cards, it never will. Is Violent Outburst still banned? Yes. Still to this day, it is banned. Why scoop? Weird villain, weird. You did not see any hateful cards that would just destroy me. I think 6, I don't know, maybe it's fine. I can play it after Living End, but then it just doesn't matter because they have a big board. When did Path to Exile get off the ban list? I noticed some lists started playing it. What do you mean? Path was never banned. What a preposterous suggestion. Yeah, this is my Titan deck. Single sleeved. I still have a stock up in it. I played with single sleeved Amulet for many years, and that's how it looks now. It's a bit damaged. Oh, I don't know if you can see the wear properly. It's a bit rough. Well, it's kinda banned as well. From the Ripple Shuffles. The glare makes it pretty good to see, pretty easy to see the damages. Why single sleeve them? Well, just why double sleeve them? I think it makes it just nicer because you have those cards and they actually, like, yeah, I played with those. I like the look of like played cards because I actually look like just makes them store the memories. But also like I have a Cultivator Colossus Mr. Beast, which is foil, but also starting to get a bit damaged, and I don't like that because damage on foils looks pretty rougher. So let's examine my Mr. Beast. It's not too bad. It's pretty new as well. Only played it a few times really. Yeah, I guess it looks like just as good as new for now, but close up I can see the start of some damages from shuffling. How many mods do you have? 100. Frankly, like only Amulet is so worn out because the Amulet deck is a easy use ship situation where there are barely actually any cards in there that are the same besides Amulet. What else would just... Which cards, like compared to the Summer Bloom variant I played at first? It's just the Amulet really, because I also replaced Titans with the Secret Lair ones, and I replaced the Bounce Lands with the Bounce Lands ones. And I have the foil promo Explore from the RCQs, so it's only Amulet, and I guess Pact. Let's inspect it, Pact. At Pact I always had 7 for some reason, because I bought some myself and then I borrowed some from Jendrek, nowhere to give them back to him. So I might have been, like, while building and rebuilding this deck, I might have been switching them. So they're gonna be less warped down. No, they're pretty bad, but less so than Amulets. Pact inspection. can see with the glare that there is some damage on the surface. It's not too bad though. Way better condition than the Amuletos. Yeah, Flex, I guess that's like two things. One is the artworks, one is the like... One thought was the Ship of Theseus one, and the other one was the state of my cards. Also have a Tolaria West, which is in a bad state. Also a Russian Tolaria West. It's the same I've been playing for a long time. I did switch it at some point. I had English ones at first. Oh, here you can see it. Anybody in the chat can read it? Zachodnia Tolaria. I don't know how West is in Russian, but it's Zachodnia in Polish, so I guessed. I can read Cyrillic. But clearly says Tolaria. Why are inner sleeves cringe? My RL cards are still in the same condition I got them in 2009, 2014. Well, they're good for keeping the cards in the same condition. I just don't like the feel of them shuffling, and I can afford my amulet cards to get damaged. Opponent has a really tough mulligan, although they already kept, so guess not. A good draw. Brocklick, thank you very much for your prime sub. Alright, last card to show off. I have Crumbling Vestiges. Right. And 2 of my 4 Crumbling Vestiges actually come from my Oath of the Gatewatch Pro Tour draft deck. So they're stamped. One of them has a tiny little face in there. The other one, tiny little... Come on, focus camera. It's a flower. But it's very faint, so you barely can see it. Oh, I guess it's good now. Yep. I like those. Did I draft it? I think so. I'm pretty sure I had some Crumbling Vestiges in my deck. Maybe I drafted one of them and not both, but I think I drafted one at least. I think I drafted the face one. Bro, don't Boseiju me. I need my Vexing Bauble. Waker is fine. You play with your cards pretty often, right? I cook every day, so I put high value in my kitchen equipment. That's true, but if your card gets worn out, it doesn't actually make it play any worse. While arguably if your knife gets dual, it does cut worse. Does making a construct matter? Might do, honestly, it might matter. It's a pretty big construct soon. Chad, I won my RCQ last Saturday on Titan. Only match loss was to Naduless Nadu with main deck Harbinger. Sounds like a tough matchup, but I'm glad that you were able to overcome the adversity and you have gotten there. I can go to Yemen. I'm an analyst. What does Nadul's Nadul even look like? It's Nadu and similar stuff. Prison Reef, Tanya, Nissa? Then you win. I can die to Fossil Vigor into Living End. Would kinda suck. Would actually really suck. They have an Endurance in their graveyard. Okay, well that's fine. That's fine. How much damage is incoming at my opponent right now? Seems like enough. Reduce the blowout potential. By fetching Bog right now, I can't really pass with Bog open. Attack with the Constructos. And I don't know, opponent, do what you think is appropriate now. Kill my Vexing Bauble or not. You have no graveyard, so I should be fine still. Maybe I won't be fine if they actually kill it, but... Oh really, fetch Lush Portico with the Generozen instead of fetching it right now? They have another Surveil, I see. Careless Agent, okay. Seems like the Vexing Bauble was able to just win and beat my opponent fully. I think I lost to them in like that challenge I got second at last week. Round 1 I just played against Maya Dominaria and I got Maya Dominaria'd postboard by Land Destruction. Real hard. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Charmo, Molten Rain. Any Boom Basts or something. 2 Traben Charms. Prove that it's still a played card. Alright, Maya Dominaria. Make your move. I am ready to turn 1, play T-West. Tap. I'll go grab a drink. Alright, villain is ready. I summon Tolaria West to draw blue mana from that location. Your move. I Marsh Flats. What's the flavor of fetch lands? What's the flavor of fetching a land? How does that even work? No nie, zjebałem. O ja pierdolę. Kurwa. No nie. I was supposed to play the Amulet first. So I can play the Grazer and block the Ragavan. That's really bad. Oi, 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 oi. So what's the flavor of fetching anyways? You have a Marsh Flats, but it's actually a Sacred Foundry. We would have Scapeshift next turn. Damn. Damn. Absolutely brutal. And they get a free Surveil. Damn. Probably want to transmute, get a Pact so that I can go Bounce Land. Hey, Titan, 2 Lotus Fields. Analyst, Mr. Beast. Next turn. Even with just 1 Amulet. Seems like they didn't spend their mana and they discharged their Grazer, so honestly, no punishment for skipping that Grazer play on turn 2. Worked out just fine. Exactly the same. For an exile they Grazer, they can put another land into play if they want to. That is crazy. Ranger Capitan, that's good for me. Because I know that they don't hold up a Fraben Charm, so I can freely go for the combo. I think it's good to go for the Analyst. Maybe we'll crack the Ranger Capitan now, but that does nothing. Since Pact is an instant, they never had a chance to crack the Ranger Capitan meaningfully. I can go to Yemen. I'm an Analyst. Oh look, I flipped a Shifting Woodland. That's convenient. Albeit not very necessary, but... well, makes it so that I have an infinite loop instantly. Actually quite convenient. No point scoops because they see that I have the loop, which is understandable. And I'll bring in my vengeances. I wonder if 6 is actually good in the games that they just bully your lands. Let's board 6 in. Because sometimes they just have so much land destruction, and 6 kind of looks okay in that. Sometimes they just have land destruction and no pressure, like that does happen. They just Molten Rain, and I just play 6. Pick up a land every time I attack, bro. On top of blocking your stupid Ragavan. Sounds good. And seems okay. If I draw bounce land, they turn to win. Just frankly, maybe more than okay. I can actually even play top land and then kill on turn 2. If I draw bounce land. Should I do that? I think I should. Don't let them know. Or I can maybe sit on my amulets in a more sneaky manner. We'll see. Ragavan dashed. Punished for not running out a Grazer on turn 1. If that was my opponent's best play. And then Ocelot Pride on top of that. Wow, that's too much, man. Let's go, Canister, Amulet Power Deck. Certainly. Certainly is. I think I play my amulets. And try to win next turn. Grazer should be better in my hand still. No, don't want to play out the Crumbling Vestige. I want to be able to use my Vestige next turn to produce at least 2 mana so I can cast a Scapeshift, so I can cast the Analyst Pact, so I can win. Dash Ragavan again. Okay. Opponent so dashing. They don't play the Wrath nowadays. Well, they do sometimes. They don't really board it into Amulet all that often. Sometimes they do, it's really bad. But also notice how they have 2 monsters on the battlefield, so if they do actually Wrath, they will kill their own monsters, which I don't mind then. It's fine if they just kill their own cards. Well, it's not great because I have no amulets and my hand is kinda shit, but like I can draw a bounce line and then just rebuild from that. I Scapeshift. Castle wins the match. See, chat, the energy matchup has its ups and downs, and this was the up as opposed to the previous downs we have suffered. Unfortunately, my losses came in early this tournament. Aged 1-6 by. Holy shit. Holy kurwa shit, ja pierdolę. Whoa, what a champ. They just really love the game of Magic the Gathering. They just really love to play. Holy fuck.